Hello, hello. This is Alicia Connor from Quick and Delish. Today is 19, the 19th day of April. Um 19th day of the 33-day self-care is our best defense challenge. So I'm showing off in the picture of the video. I didn't score any fresh fruit yesterday was when I was at Trader Joe's because some people were taking a little bit long in the sections and the produce section was a little bit crowded. So I didn't feel like I could spend very much time there. And so I just couldn't even deal with making a decision. But I made sure to grab some frozen fruit. Um, and the freezer aisle surprisingly was easier to manage than the produce section. Anyway, so one of my favorite things to do is to heat up some fruit, whether or not on the stovetop or in the microwave. And I didn't have a microwave as an adult for many, many years. Like I want to say, um, from the time I was um, just almost 18 to just 3 years ago. I only got a microwave 3 years ago. And somewhere around 22 years or something, I went without a microwave. And so I've been only using microwave for about 3 years. And so being able to heat up some frozen fruit and make it turn into a sauce, this is a mixture of half and half raspberries. And I'm being careful because I have my laptop here. Yesterday I spilled some sauce. So look at how sexy this sauce is. So this is just the frozen berries. So it's delicious. So I'm going to show you another thing that I'm going to make. I'm going to have with those berries after I finish this video. So I took a spoonful of peanut butter and I dipped it in these quinoa crispies. And the quinoa crispies are just quinoa. There's no added ingredients. There's no sugar or salt. And then this is no sugar, no salt added creamy peanut butter. And I used to only like crunchy peanut butter because I thought I liked the texture and it was less processed or whatever. And then now I have no preference. Like I just grab and I switch it up, and I like to have more options in terms of textures. So I'm gonna have my spoonful of peanut butter with some quinoa crunchies. So I have this ramekin, and I literally just smash the quinoa crispies against, like I have a bowl of quinoa crispies in here, and I just smash the peanut butter against the peanut butter. So now it's all over, but whatever. So that's my snack after I get off of once I stop filming. So the quinoa crispies are from this awesome company, Edison Granary, and it's literally just quinoa. So I bought this direct from the company, and they have free delivery if you order over, I think it's $70. So a couple weeks back, I ordered a bunch of dried beans and oats and a couple different cereals that they make that don't have any added sugar or any added salt, which is super awesome. And I was skeptical. I wasn't sure if they were going to be tasty, but I think the quinoa crispies, and I also get this one that's called a trio. I can't remember the name of it. It's called some kind of trio. And that one has quinoa, sorghum, and rice. And it's crispy. It's totally like Rice Krispies. It's really fun. And I wouldn't, Rice Krispies, whatever. But these are super fun. And you know what I think is really cool? I think you could totally use these for breadcrumbs. You may need to grind them a little bit more in the Cuisinart, but breadcrumbs. So quinoa, imagine quinoa for breadcrumb substitute, where breadcrumbs are usually just white bread, right? And so if you use quinoa, then there would be more protein and fiber in your breadcrumb, and it totally adds a nuttiness. I'm not saying everybody's going to like it, because there's that too. You have to be open-minded to trying new things, and then you try it and then you're like, whoa, this is actually good. Like the first time I tasted the quinoa crispies, I was like, I don't know. And then the second time I was like, whoa, these are actually good. I think, sometimes you just have to like relax the brain and go with the flow. Anyway, so that's my snack. I wanted to share that with you. I was lucky when I went to another grocery store a couple weeks ago. They were out of peanut butter. They only had salty and sugary peanut butter, and I couldn't get any unsalted. And I didn't have my phone with me, so I couldn't take a picture of the nutrition label to like compare which one had the brands that I'm not familiar with if they didn't actually have sugar or salt, because I didn't want to bring my phone into the store because I didn't want to get it contaminated. And so, like, I'm familiar with some brands. I was looking for like the store's brand, no sugar, no salt added, but I couldn't find the package that I'm familiar with. And I didn't have my phone on me to take a picture of the nutrition label to look to see if there's any added sugar or salt in there. So I was kind of bummed out, and I didn't want to touch a bunch of stuff either. So there's that. So taking a picture of the package helps me read because I'm legally blind. And so it's super easy to make the label really big. So my hair is getting crazy. Isn't your hair getting crazy? Unless you're already one of those people that like cuts your hair. But you're probably just like, yeah, the people that shave their heads all the time are just so lucky. They should be maybe I don't know, they can't make any money because we can't come close together. Anyway, so I think it's important. So I explained in my video yesterday, um, that I had a stressful experience at Trader Joe's, and shopping is just stressful in general. And so I solved like the best thing for me to do when I have a problem, or anybody does, you have a problem, right? And then after you have the problem, then you go into problem solving mode and you figure out how you're going to do that same thing in a different way so it's less stressful. So I want this focus of this week, or focus in general, but like 1 week at a time, right? And then 1 day at a time. And every day is different these days. And what we need is different these days, and it changes. And so I want to really, really, really focus on stress reduction. So I had more phone calls with people this week, and and that was really helpful. And I wanted to remind you that we need paid and unpaid support. And so paid support could look like, therapy or physical therapy, or seeing a healthcare provider, because healthcare providers are open. They're just doing their visits virtually, which is super helpful, right? So you could actually get things taken care of if you already have a doctor and stuff. And so that's a great way to keep on your health at this moment. And so thinking about what you can do this week that will help reduce your stress. So after this video, I'm going to go for a walk, be outside, and it's sunny and there's blue sky here in San Francisco. It's really nice. And so that's going to help me reduce my stress. And I'm working on figuring out different ways to squeeze in a little bit more exercise, like some jumping jacks throughout the day, and any big movements to get the blood flowing. I don't know, like big movements. Like walking up the stairs. I have some stairs in my apartment building that I could do a couple of times, like the back stairs, the front stairs. And so any movement counts. It can be just in 3 minutes. So while I'm talking to you, I'm also talking to myself and getting myself jazzed up. So it's not just for you. This is like accountability. We have to village up in the situation, right? Global pandemic, we're all involved. So we need to village up and support each other, right? And so I'm, listening to music. That gets you excited, Girl on Fire, or whatever it takes, whatever kind of music and dancing to release the stress. We need to move in order to release stress. So sometimes you might need to talk it out, right? If there's an emotional thing you need to do. Sometimes it helps to cry. Sometimes it helps to watch something that's hilarious, like a comedy show or something like that. Some Ali Wong, or whatever. I don't know a lot of comedian names off the top of my head. But comment below what do you do for stress reduction? I think we need to be like super active with a conscious effort to reduce our stress, because we feel it in our muscles, we feel it in our body, and things are just a little bit tense. And one of the apps that I'm on is called in my neighborhood. It's called Nextdoor, and some people are sharing some posts like, I don't know, they're presented in a grumpy pants kind of way, like, "Hey, people, you got to be wearing masks," and just the language that's used is kind of like not super helpful. It could be like friendly reminder, everybody's got to wear a mask in order to stay safe. I don't know. It's like really important for people to use the right language. It's really, really helpful. So focusing on stress reduction and sort of like doing more like an active approach, like the in the evening, assess where you are. What do you need? Like if you didn't sleep that well, and maybe that's why you're dragging a little bit that day. And so like what can you do to help get more sleep? Because sleep is a huge variable to reducing to increase stress and decrease stress, right? So sleep, emotions, exercise, eating healthy, right? So if if you're having an affinity, this is you're drawn towards certain foods to comfort yourself, right? And so comfort foods usually are higher calorie, higher in fat, maybe higher in sugar, right? So how can you get that's one of the reasons why I love frozen berries or any kind of fruit, because they add sweetness to your foods. And so how can you build in sweetness with a meal or snack so you get that sweetness? And then the reason why I like these quinoa crispies is because they're crunchy. Like a lot of people have this thing where they like to crunch on things. And so it's like, how can you add that into your life? If you're eating a lot of foods that are texturally soft, how can you add crunch? Like some roasted potatoes that are caramelized, and they're like kind of crunchy, or some carrots add crunch, celery, um, something that you have to chew through. Chewing through food and chewing your food thoroughly can actually reduce your stress. I find that with a decent amount of my patients, like feel like they need to chew through things. And so it's like, well, exercise would be awesome too, but if you have more foods that have that, like like a high fiber meal, which I consider just a regular meal. So then you're chewing through the fiber, then you'll get full more quickly. That's why salads are so great, because you have a trough of vegetables and then you chew through it. Um, and yeah, so thinking about how to add texture to your foods could be helpful. Okay, cool. So a little bit about stress reduction, and that's always my top priority. But I think I'm gonna like do like a razor focus this week, and I always have a light a lighter approach to life, but I think I'm just gonna kind of like figure out more ways to like really really lighten it up and do some more movement and more deep breathing whenever I can, because when you deep breathe, then you're getting in more oxygen, and then that relaxes the body, because this is a big deal out there in the world, and where this thing's not going to take us down. I refuse. Okay, that's enough for me. So stress reduction is the focus for this week, and just like any other week, but I'm kind of like setting the stage. There's another thing I was going to share, but I can't remember now. I don't remember, but that's okay. I'll remember for tomorrow. Tomorrow's day 20. See, April's going to fly by so fast. We got to use this time that we have as an opportunity to take care of stuff in our house, because once we have the freedom to leave our place, we're going to not want to come back in. So we got to take care of whatever we need to take care of in the home, in our apartment, wherever we are now. Yeah. Oh, what about the Flowbee? Somebody's got to be making a bunch of money on the Flowbee right now. Whatever happened to the Flowbee? You tell me. That's it for me now. So the little things in life, like stress reduction, is actually a huge thing in life. This stress reduction has a lot of little details, and then just focusing on one detail this week. So please comment below on what specific attainable goal you're going to plug away at this week for stress reduction. Adios, amigos.